everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome back to our little mini series of scrap paper pages. And so this is simply just sitting down with your scraps, making some fast pages and having a heap of fun, just playing with what you already have in the size they're in. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing we did for video 1 and 2, is that we're going to play with Creative Scrappers sketchbooks. And so we're going to play with volume 4 today. And I will tell you that if you bought all of these, you would have $25. I mean, isn't that awesome? And so in volume 4, there's over 100 sketches. And they have single and double page layouts, and there are also 50 designers that have layouts to go with the sketches. And so at the end of the video, I'll talk about volume 1 and 5 if you want, like, some more info about that, because sometimes you want to hear what someone thinks about the product before you buy it. And I will tell you, for $4.95, you can't go wrong with any of them. And so that's why I have all of them. Yes, I really do. So if you have volume 4, definitely please play along. The first layout we're going to do is from page 8, and it's layout number 1. And so we're going to do the same thing that we did in layout 1 and layout 2. We're going to build, play with a couple scrap paper pages and then a start to finish. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get right to it. So for this one, this is an example where you definitely could take just a couple pieces of paper and cut them down, or you could use different sizes of paper and use a lot of different patterns. So in my case, I don't have a lot of small scraps because I don't keep small scraps. So what I did is I took 3 pieces of paper that were, like a medium-sized piece of paper, and then I cut them down. And this is what we're going to do as far as we're going to color block. And so it would almost look like a Project Life page or a pocket page. So we'll play along with that. And so, of course, I'm playing with a color scheme. And when you're playing with scraps, that's the beauty of it too. You can pick a color scheme, and I have navy blue, turquoise, and pink. It's a beautiful color scheme. I don't really seem to get tired of it, but then I love navy. So we're going to build 3 rows. So again, just color blocking. And so the ones on the top row will all be 3 inches tall. So we have right here, we have a 3 by 3, and then we have a 2 3/4 by 3. And then we have another 3 by 3. Love that pink gingham. And then, of course, we have 2.5 by 3. Now, with these, when we talk about different things here on this channel, there's so many things you can do with these papers. You can ink them, distress them, paint them, tear them, run them through your edge punch. There's so many things you can do with that, but I'm just showing the basics of how you can just simply take your scraps and make some fast pages. Especially if you just want to take your scrap folder or your scrap bin or basket and with some cardstock and just create some base pages. We've talked a lot about that here on the channel, so look below for that playlist. So our second row, they're going to be 3.5 inches tall. So these were 3 inches tall. These are going to be 3.5. So there's the turquoise again. And you can see where I'm going to have 3 visual triangles just in my paper. So then the next one is 3.5 by 3.5, and then this one is 4.5 by 3.5. So again, just taking that row and divvying up. So in the top row we had 4 pieces of paper. Here we have 3, and now on the bottom row we're going to have 2 pieces of paper, and these are going to be 5 inches tall. So this is a 3.5 by 5, and this is an 8 by 5. So of course you would just move them around and get your margins the way you want them. Or what you could do is basically make a quilt and piece them all together, bun them side by side. And so, of course, you can see with my turquoise makes a visual triangle. I have a diagonal going with the pink gingham, and then I have a visual triangle with the navy. So that's how you can figure out in a quick manner how to place those. So now I just used 3 different colors, but you could clearly see there's 9 pieces of paper, right? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You could use 9 different pieces and do like a crazy quilt. And then along with this, if you think that these look kind of boring or plain, remember there's something you can always do. Now sometimes you have to adjust your measurements. Is that what you could do is you could take another piece of pattern paper and you could use that as your mat. So you could definitely do that. And then another option would be that you could go and dig out colored cardstock because we all have an abundance of that, and you could definitely play with colored cardstock, and that's just gives you another color without adding pattern. And then you could go to your specialty papers, which I'm going to be bringing out wood grain. So wood grain goes with just about everything. And so then that would be something, look how simply adding that medium tone of a wood grain. And of course I would have that trimmed down. But look how that, just look how pretty that would be. Love it. So don't forget, your background mats you can change. Colored cardstock, pattern paper, or specialty papers. And to me, wood grain is special. That's a specialty paper in my category. Absolutely. Okay, so the measurements will be listed below. Isn't this fun? This is just color blocking. We did this back in the day. We actually had templates that helped you do this. And I think they were by Deluxe Designs. I mean, that was way back in the day. Yes. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next layout. And if you're playing along in volume 4, it is on page 10. It's layout number 2, and there's a layout sample to go with it. It's very pretty. Now, this involves a lot of layering, and I get a lot of questions about layering as how to do it, and there really is no answer about how to do it. You just do it. And so using scraps is a perfect way to do lots of layering, using different patterns, different sizes, and then using them the size they're in. I'm going to spend a little time on this because I do get asked this question, and it really is very simple to do. So I have some papers here. Now I will have the measurements listed below because there are some people who want exact measurements to go along. So just look below. And so what I have is just a stack of papers in different sizes. So we're going to start with this pink. I have my measurements here because there's no way I can remember, because I think this is about 7 to 9 pieces of paper. You can get a lot of different patterns on here, and you can put a lot of different scraps on here. So the first one is a pink floral, and I can tell you this is my mind's eye. Beautiful paper back in the day. So that is a 8 by 6, and so this is 8 and 6. 8 by 6, and then my yellow is a 7 by 6. I have another pink, 6 by 6. Notice that my pinks don't match, different shades, don't matter. And my next yellow is a 6 by 5, and that is the exact same paper as number 2. And then I have another piece of pink. This is 6 by 4, and then I have this yellow floral, which is a 6 by 6. And you can see that is how simple it is to layer. Just use scraps. Their size are in that block form. So you see I had an 8 by 6, 7 by 6, 6 by 6, 6 by 5, 6 by 4, 6 by 6. Just play with them the size are in, and just keep on going across or going up and down. And then I have 2 more scraps here. This is a 3 by 6, and I'm going to put one here. And of course you wouldn't need all of this. It's just what I have. You could absolutely cut that in half. And I just had this in scraps, so I was just playing along with it. And then right there is that black peeking through. Isn't that grand? Yes. Now, of course, when it comes to this, you can move some up and move some down. The only thing you want to make sure that you do is that every piece of paper that you have, make sure that you can see a peek of it. You're not going to see all of it. And some people will say, well, these bottom layers, you're really wasting a lot of space. So what you can do is you can come down here and trim that, but then you're left with another scrap. So it's really up to you what you want to do. There's no wrong way. And then the easiest way, that when you have something like this in all these layers, how many pieces of paper? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I have some more here because we're going to keep on playing with this. Is that you start, once you know where you have it, start with your top and just lift up a corner, put some adhesive or some glue, pick up another one, put some adhesive or glue, pick this one up, pick this one up, pick this one up, rather than having to start all over again. That's what I do when I have a lot of layers. I just start with the top and work my way down. But when you're building it, you start from the bottom and work your way up. I hope that makes sense. So I wanted to show that there is another way to do this. Okay, but I wanted to definitely show a specified measurement way of doing it. So look below for those measurements. So here's another way to do it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some scraps, and I even have some more to play with. Again, we're just going to learn how to layer. So the easiest way to do this is take scraps and put them in a group. So small, medium, and large. So what do we have? Small, medium. Would that be a medium? Medium. Then we have some small. Put that in medium. Okay, so we have basically extra large, medium, small. We have small, medium, large, and extra large. So those are 4 sizes, roughly, of scraps. So what you can do is just simply put the small on the bottom, then the next pile, then the next pile, and then this pile. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a page using all of these. Now we're seriously going to get into some tucking. Okay, and then you don't have to worry about measurements. Just play with the size they're in. I hope that is something I convey in this mini series. Just play with the size they're in. So of course I have two big ones here. And I'm going to use the biggest one for the bottom because it makes more coverage. So there's the biggest one. And then what do I have? My next group is this. So since I have a pink and a yellow, I want to go with a pink. Go with the yellow. And so you can see that's basically what I had in the sample. And of course you'd want to make sure that your prints are in the size that you want. Now there's that beautiful yellow 6x6. That's a showstopper right there. And then of course what do we have? We have more of the next size, which is this size here. So what do? You simply take them and you put them with that visual triangle in mind. So I have a pink here, so I could bring and put a pink over here. There we go. So now what else do we have? Now we have some black. So let's play with black. So I could put a black up here, and I could put a black down here. Now, where's that visual triangle that I have in mind? So you can see each one of these papers, I still see some of this peeking through. That's all you're going for. And of course you see I'm going out and I'm going up and down. So now I have this black, and we're going to put it right here. So right there is black in a diagonal. Now I have this flower. Where do I want this? Well, I have flowers here, so maybe I could tuck it over here. I like that. Now we're going to the small scraps. And so what do we have? We have some pink gingham or vintage. Oh, vintage, vintage, and vintage. So I have 3 vintage. So what we could do, and looking at my text here, is I could put one here. I could perhaps maybe put this one up here. And then when you're doing your tucking, put your hand here, and then so that way things don't shift too much. I could put that there. And now I have this little jobby right here. Where could I put this? And my writing is going this way, so I probably could tuck a little bit. How about over there with this pink? Now that is how you layer. So it's basically just taking scraps, the size they're in, divvying them up into size. Start with a large pile, a medium pile, and a small pile, and then start from the back and work your way up. And then your small pieces, you just layer them in here and there. So how many pieces of paper was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think 13 pieces of paper. And so then of course you could shift all of this up, or you could shift it all down, but I kind of like the way it is. Now let's play with some photos. I love this. Yes. Now if I want to adhere this, what am I going to do? I'm going to start here, and I'm going to put my hand here, and I'm going to take some of my quick dry, and I'll just put a little dab here. I'll pick up the yellow, put a little dab, pick up this vintage, a dab of glue. And then once that dries, then you can go back in and secure it a little bit more. That's how I do it, because once you get something the way you want it, I'm not going to recreate it. No. And now some people will take a long arm staple and they would staple. But I don't have a long arm stapler, but that is a choice. Some people don't like that because they don't want to use staples on their pages. So it's totally up to you, but there are ways around that. So you could definitely get 4 3x3 photos on here. And I definitely wanted to show this a little bit more because tucking and layering is something that people, they feel that they can't do it. But let me tell you, yes, you can. If you can make a bed, you can layer papers. It's all the same thing. It's just tucking and layering, and that's all you do when you make a bed. So then, of course, you come up here with a title, or you could even put your title down here, and then again, you just play with your visual triangle in whatever manner. Easy peasy, just using scraps. Isn't that fun? I definitely wanted to show a couple different ways to do that. And then if you want to just showcase one photo, there's nothing wrong with that. You could just showcase one really stellar photo. Now, since these patterns are so busy, I would suggest that you mat your photo on a piece of neutral so your photo stands out, because that's what we always want. We want our photos to stand out. Okay, so that's enough with that. But I love taking just scraps, the size they're in, and just playing with them. That's all this is playing with that. And we're going to talk more about that when I get to the end of the video, talking about volumes 1 and 5. Okay, isn't that pretty? I love it. Love it. Okay, so now let's go to the next one because I'm excited. This is our start to finish. Let me move this. And I will put this somewhere on the floor. Absolutely. So let's go to the next one. The next one is going to be a Disney page. If you're playing along, it's going to be on page, let me see. I'll put these scraps here. And I have to have a piece of paper. Now I need a piece of paper. My cardstock. And then I think I'm going to use white. So this may not be what it turns out to be. Meaning in my brain, you know, sometimes you plan a layout. I have a plan, but I don't know. All I'm going to say is I'm going to be channeling Missy Whidden. And I don't know how that's going to turn out, but we shall see. I'm up for the challenge. So what we're going to do is we are going to be playing with page 16. It's a beautiful page by Missy Whidden. Just beautiful. Of course, she does beautiful work. I think she could just put a staple in a piece of paper and it would look pretty. She just does that much great work. So this sketch is a little different in the sense that it's going to take your bigger pieces of paper. And so I definitely wanted to show that. And then this is also about picking scraps in a color scheme. So you can see my color scheme is brown, navy, and red. And my brown, of course, wood grain and brown is synopsis. Or synopsis? How about the same? Synonym. Yeah, the same. So we have red and blue. Oh, red. October afternoon, my mind's eye, Echo Park. Red, red, paper house blue, and then we have more brown. So you can see I was playing with a color scheme, and then I also was playing with different size scraps. I started with big. There's my color scheme. So what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be doing a layout with Goofy. In not just any Goofy in Frontierland. So that's why I picked the color scheme. And of course the red and blue goes with Goofy, as well as my little one. And then of course we're in Frontierland. I had to bring in the brown and the wood grain. So in this sketch, it's basically calling for a lot of circles. That's basically the design. Is circles, 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 circles. So that's why I picked the bigger papers, so I could get maybe more than one circle on these bigger scraps. And so I love having scraps this size, and I like scraps this size. I don't like too much smaller than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what I picked for my kit with these photos in mind and this color scheme. So I had talked about that in another segment, that when you are playing with scraps, you could pick out an inspiration piece and you pick other scraps, or you can pick a color scheme. And all I did was go to my red, my blue, and my brown, and I picked a color scheme. And they are actually, the photos were my inspiration. And so I'm going to show you what I pulled out for the kit, and then let's just get with it. Yeah, I'm just so excited to play with this. But I will tell you, I don't know if it's going to look like... I'm using Missy's layout as an inspiration. How's that? I'm not going to make it look like hers. It's just a springboard. So, of course, I picked 2 brown thickers. One has this stitch, and I pretty much think that's the one. But I also picked this one. And so then I just picked embellishment packs because this kind of has to be... not a fast page, but I can't spend 3 hours on it. It's the holidays. You know what I mean. If I want a little bit of crafty time during the holidays, it's going to have to be in short spurts. So what I simply did with using this color scheme and thinking about Goofy, Disney, and Frontierland, I just pulled things that would have those colors. So I was just looking for that blue or that red. So this is the blue and the red, blue and the red, blue and the red. This is summer. This is... basically modern. That's Project Life. And then here we have some One Canoe 2. So I was just looking for the blue and the red at this point, and look at this set. Is that not perfect? I'm telling you, you sometimes just don't know what you have that's going to go with any type of photos. So this banner looks exactly as if that was coming from Frontierland. So right there, now that introduces green, which is perfect because that's in my photos. I'm definitely using that banner. And then, of course, I decided to go with a little bit of theme. So I have some Cosmo Cricket Western Country Girl word stickers. That's perfect. Perfect. And then I have this toy box, these fans. I saw this rosette in that blue, which looks like Goofy's shirt. And then, of course, I have some Walmart stickers from Sticko. Who is Sticko? EK Success, which says a division of Wilton Brands. Who knew? Which is probably all part of American Crafts somewhere down the line. Anyway, so there's some Western, and then burlap, and then wood grain, and of course finishing touches. And then I also pulled some wood veneer as the inspiration that Missy was showing in her layout. And then Tish recently gifted me these cork tags. I think that's going to be fun. I definitely could put a title in that. Brown twine, and then there is the wood veneer. That's just a representation that I could do some wood veneer, because I'm going to have circles. So I think I'm going to have embellishments going around the whole circle. And then I found some brads in my bowl. I just stuck them in there so I wouldn't lose them. So that is what I'm picking. It was very easy to pick. I just went to my embellishment bucket bin and I looked for anything that was Western, Frontierland, Disney, and red, blue, and brown. Easy peasy. I didn't spend a lot of time picking supplies because I want to play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop there, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you the base of my page, because I have to cut a lot of circles. I'm basically going to take all of these and I'm going to be starting with the bigger pieces, and I'm just going to start making circles of all different sizes because I want to fill this 12 by 12 white cardstock with all those circles. So in the last layout, we did all those blocks. I'm basically going to do the same thing, but now I'm going to use circles, and we're going to layer and layer and layer. And I would like to use all 3 of these photos. That's my plan. I really don't want to give up. I will give up a design before I give up my photos. I want to use all 3 of these because they mean a lot to me. You know, when your little ones are grown and gone, yeah, your photos mean a lot. Absolutely. Okay, so hang on, and I will come back and I will show you what I used to do my circles and how many circles I made and all the fun stuff, and then we'll get to playing. Okay, hold on. All right, so let's get busy playing because I have my basic background done. And so what I did was I took my bigger pieces of paper and I made the biggest circles that I could. But I ran into a problem right off the bat. And what is that? Because my circle cutters that I have, the biggest I can make is 6.5 inches. So I thought, okay, now what do I do? So in my template folder that I keep by my desk, it's just a pocket folder, and I keep all my templates and my few lonely stencils that I have. So my templates and guides I keep in that pocket by my desk. So I knew that I had a circle template, and this is just the reverse. Something that would come in like a deep dish pizza pan or a pie pan, and you know, you use that as the top cover. Well, I never use those. I just use a deep dish pan. So I keep these insets and then I use them as templates. And so that's what I did. I use this as my biggest circle template. So then I needed another size down. So what do crafty people do? You go to the kitchen. And so that's what I did. I went to the kitchen and I grabbed a Pyrex lid. And so that would be my next size down. And then I did use my lovely gift from Pat, this template, and I did the outside, so that was my next size circle. So what I did was I had to be resourceful and use things around the home to make my circles because I don't have anything to make a big circle. Now in Missy Whidden's sketch, of course, she has lots of circles, so she probably used a silhouette or something like that. But I don't do anything, you know, I don't have machines like that. So you have to use with what you have. And so, of course, the concept was to take a big circle and keep going smaller, 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 which is what I had in my brain, but it wasn't going to work that way because I don't have a lot of templates. And also, I am dealing with 3 4x6 photos and in the sketch, and then in Missy's sketch, you know, the layout she did, she used smaller photos. So when you do use a sketch and you're changing the photo size, keep in mind sometimes that will change the background design overall. And so that's what happened to me. But I still wanted to keep the circle shape. So what did I do? I just made big circles and then I kind of kept the circles in a circle. It's not a perfect circle. Close enough to perfect. And then what I did was I kept the blue together and I kept the red together and I kept the brown together, because what happened is that as I started layering all of these different styles and patterns and colors together, it started to look a little too busy, and I thought, no, I don't want to take my focus off the photos. And so I did take the photo that I want to showcase in the middle. I went ahead and matted that with a piece of that polka dot scrap because I didn't want to I didn't want to forget, that's the one I wanted to showcase, and I also wanted to make sure that I had room to see a little bit of my sketch there, you know, my background circles. So that is how the basic design is going to be. That's what I'm planning anyways. So again, it's one of those things that when you plan a page in your head, sometimes when it translates to paper and embellishments, it doesn't work that way. And it's because usually of our photo size. And I don't want to cut down my photos for a page design, if that makes sense. I want my page design to accommodate what I want for my photos, because for a lot of us, photos are our center stage. So then what I did with my circles is that you can see none of these are really adhered very well. I just have them placed on here because I haven't embellished yet. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I did take my close to my heart distressor, and I did stress the circles just to give it a little bit of something so it wouldn't be so boring and flat. So I did do that off camera because that takes a little bit of time and it makes a little bit of a mess, as you can see. So that is how the background worked. So I think, yes, this is here, this is here. And so as I did my 3 photos, I wanted to put them in such a way, I think it's this way. So it looks like they just met, and then they're just hamming it up at the end, still talking. So that's how they're going to lay out. So I am going to put them in a sequence. And I used this one here in the middle because, of course, it had that lantern, and it shows, this is just a better staged photo. And, of course, they're, you know, that's the main focus, the main photo of my page. Sorry, I'm all over my words, Lord. I think it was all those circles. Absolutely. Now, I do have some scraps to the side here. And so I'm not going to put them too far away because maybe I could use them for some embellishments. And they just went a-rolling. Okay, I'm telling you. Boy, isn't the holidays a little stressful trying to get anything done, and then let alone try to have time for your crafting? Yeah, some days it just doesn't work. And I know a lot of my scrapbookers have been saying that they still watch videos, but yet you can't get into your space to scrap. Believe me, we've all been there. So I did pull out all of my templates and my Creative Memory Cutter, and I didn't use it. I just used the actual shape, and I just penciled. You know, I just took these to the scraps, used a pencil, and then I cut them with my scissors. And I do suggest that when you're cutting big shapes, use long blade scissors. I think it works. So think of it this way. If you have a small image you want to cut, use a small blade scissors. If you have a big image to cut, use a long blade scissors. I think it works better because then it doesn't look so choppy because you can get longer cuts. Okay, now let's move on. So the next thing is I'm going to plan my title, and I'm going to go ahead and lay out these photos because the photos really help me for mood and feel, and I think that's true for a lot of us. And I already had knew that I wanted to take one of Tish's tags, and I wanted to use that for a title. And so my title, what I want is a goofball because it's a play off of Goofy. But I will tell you that, you know, because of urban language nowadays, some words that we just think are just fun everyday words, they mean something else. I did not know that goofball meant something else, so I guess I'm just going to plan on using the word goofy. But that was my plan. I was going to use goofball, but who knew it meant something else? Jeez, I tell you what, it's a sign of the times when a simple word means something else nowadays. But I guess if I didn't know that, I guess most people wouldn't either. But you know, down the road, someone may say, why did grandma use goofball? And it means something else. So I'm just going to simply use Goofy. So I do know that Goofy is going to go on this tag. Where this tag is going to land, I'm not sure. So I'm going to go ahead and start building my title. And if you want to hang out with me, keep on watching. We're just going to scrapbook a little bit. So I might as well go ahead and see if they space. Well, I guess this worked out well anyways, because look what's going to happen. If I wanted to use the word goofball, it wouldn't have fit on this tag anyway. So I guess that was supposed to be, right? I think so. And I am going to use these stitched thickers. They do pop off of this transfer paper because, I mean, doesn't it just look like Western wear? I think so. I mean, we're talking about Goofy in Frontierland. And then I have a lot of these little X's, so I'm going to go ahead and put some of these on my page because I could sprinkle them throughout. And so, of course, what I wanted to do in my brain is that I was going to do embellishments the whole way around. Well, that's not going to happen. Why? Because my photos is going to stop that circle. So I'm going to have to probably put an embellishment here, here, and here. So I'm still getting that visual triangle, and that's okay, but it's not what I planned. That's what happens sometimes. It's just all about having fun, right? Now, what year was this? Do I have a year on the back? Oh, I had a year. Let me find my paper because I don't want to forget. My paper is, oh, let's see, 09. So I definitely want to put that somewhere. Even if I don't use this, at least I won't forget that this is 09. I'll just stick a little bit more on there. So that way I won't forget. I want to put the date on there. I will not have any journaling because I really don't have anything to say. But I definitely want the year on there. Okay, so that's the title. That's the plan. Okay, so now where is this title going to go? And since my title is going to be my biggest element on this tag, which that's on cork. Isn't that awesome? I need to decide on this. But there was one more thing in this kit. And I might as well get this pile of embellishments out. There was something I wanted to use, and it was right here. So let's see if I can, get this to work, because these banner pieces are just a perfect match for this layout. And so as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh my goodness, banner, Western wear, plaid, gingham. And of course, okay, we're going to run into an issue. Now, that would be a simple page. I simply could put that goofy on top of that tag, put that banner down here at the bottom because that brings that blue and red down at the bottom. And I could just put something up here, and that would be an easy, fast page. Something like this, 09. And then I could just put something, a little something there, like a wood veneer star. Say this is just, that's too big, but something like this. And then if you had a little bit of journaling, then that page would be fine. It would be done. But, you know, I wanted to do a little bit more embellishing. So I think I will go back to the drawing board here. So right there's 3 things that I planned in my head when I was thinking of this page. And I just don't think this is going to work. And why is this not going to work? Again, if I wanted to do a simple page, I could plop that down there underneath the title and it would be done. But that's not what I want. The reason this banner doesn't work is because my background is circles. And this, of course, is in a more of an arch. So it would work if it was going this way. You know, you could tuck it out this way. That would definitely look like sun rays. That would be cute, but that's not what I wanted. Okay, so that's not going to work, but that's okay. We'll move on to the next plan. Okay, so what's the next plan? Okay, so the next plan is that I have blue in this quadrant, or in this vicinity, in this little triangle, and then I have a triangle of red, and then I have a triangle brown. So what I can do is that up here in the blue, I could use brown and red elements. Over here in the red, I could use blue and brown. And then down here in the brown, I could use red and blue. So that way, that distributes those 3 colors all around in the visual triangle. However, look at my title. This is why I like to start with my title, because your title usually is the title of your story. You know, that's the title of your chapter, and that usually draws people in. And so this is on brown. Of course, I could put this up here. That would be cute. Oh my God, that'd be so cute for a fast page. And let's play with this banner again. Oh, that would be so cute. Again, quick page. So that's an option. But I really like how it's based down here. I really like that brown on brown. So I have brown on brown on brown on brown. Okay, so here's another option. What I could do is I have a variety of embellishments. Okay, now let me get my wax paper before I forget my idea. What I could do is I could get 3 pieces of wax paper. And what I could do is I could put red embellishments on here, blue embellishments on here, and brown on here, and then I would use blue here, red here and brown there. Okay, that's a plan. Let's do that. Okay, so what do we have? Well, I know I have this Western theme stickers by Walmart. Sticko, well, they're by Sticko, EK Success, but they were found at Walmart. So this would be the next thing I definitely would want to get on there. So I'm dealing with brown. Okay, and I'm going to be playing down here with Goofy. Okay, so let me move these. And I'm playing on my wax paper. So brown. Well, Western Town, that would work. We have horseshoes, that would work. And we have a cowboy hat. That almost looks like what Goofy has on. Okay. So that's what I'm doing right now, is that I'm just picking embellishments, and then I will put them on wax paper, and then I will figure it out on my page. So I got brown. I'm just dealing with brown at this point. How fun is that? I haven't done a layout like that for a long time. So brown. Okay, that's pretty much exhausted. Let's go to the next thing. Oh, don't forget, I gotta get a Mickey head on there. And then we have wood veneer. And I have twine, but I already have this jute here on that tag, so that's covered. And what I could do is pull stars and stars and stars, and I'm just going to pick a variety of different stars and different sizes. And so to me, wood veneer is brown, and I just have it in these little drawers, and I have a lot of different type of stars, so I'm just going to pull a variety and in different sizes. I should just put a chunk on there, a chunk, a monk, and a skunk, and see what we land with. But I know this is a pretty big area, so I need at least 6 or 9. So we'll just sprinkle some on here. I think we got that covered. Okay, we got wood veneer. Now, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to go through here, and what do I see in brown? So this is a quick way to do a page. Oh, we have a burlap bow. Well, yes, sing. Yes, we have a burlap bow. I haven't done a page like this for a while, so this will be interesting. We'll see how the embellishments will land. So I'm just looking for brown, anything brown. Brown. And I think that's pretty much, other than these, but that will probably go on the photo, so I will stick them here so I don't forget. Okay, that's pretty much my brown, other than I could use a brown. I could get a brown Mickey head. Why not? And it's in wood grain. So I'm going to go ahead and punch that. So there's my brown embellishments. So now let's go to the next thing, and let's play with red. Oh, I like that. So then what I'm doing is, since I use circles in the background, I will do a circle of embellishments, but this will be a circle of blue. This will be a circle of red and a circle of brown. Interesting. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to play with red. What do we have in red? Well, I tell you what, that rosette matches Goofy's shirt, so that I'm going to have to keep that to the side. I don't want to forget that. Okay, so we're no burlap. There's really nothing red on here, so skipping that. And we have red here with these fancy pants. So what I'm doing is I'm just pulling red embellishments, and then we will figure out how they can land on the page. Oh, here's a flower. Oh, and I think I have to sneeze. I think so. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. I think I'm going to have to start being like my grandma. And she used to carry a handkerchief in her pocket. I have went through so many tissues. It's crazy. I don't know if it's because, you know, you're bringing out holiday decor and, you know, you're dealing with plants and trees and allergens are in the air. I don't know, but I've had enough of it. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm doing red. So I will just pull anything that looks like red and goes with my mood and feel of Western wear and Disney and Goofy. So now I already have this out, so I see some blue. So let's just go ahead, instead of having to pull this out twice. And I'm just dealing with, I'm just getting a variety of braids there, because you know you got to have braids. And then what do we have here? We have a butterfly. No, I don't want to do butterflies. Oh, we have a red button. And I wanted to show you, this is sometimes what I'll do if I have embellishments that keep popping off, or just in case for this braid pack. sometimes these paper, you know, the paper packaging that you get it, you know, from the store, it rips. So what I'll do is I'll transfer it. I'll just take a piece of scrap cardstock and put it in a 5x7 baggie, and I just cut things down. It's more manageable to have this embellishment pack. So yeah, I wanted to say that. Oh, that blue banner would be cute. I don't know, that's pretty thick. So you can see I'm pulling out blue and red at the same time. Why not? I'm already handling them. No sense handling things twice. Why not? Okay, so I think oh wait, what do we have here? So I'm not going to do any birdies. I'm not going to do any butterflies. I'm not going to do any strawberries or cherry, and that just came off. And what else do we have? I think I'm pretty much at the end of my piles, other than enamel dots. But that's not hard to figure out. And I also had wood enamel dots that was in this brown. I had this. I got embellishment packs flying everywhere now. And I could pull a couple of these. Or maybe get that brown one. So I'll just put a couple there on the wax paper. That way I know to play with them. And I'm still looking for red, aren't I? I think I'm done with my red, other than this one canoe too. And none of that is going to work. So I'm basically out of my red. I'm just looking here to the right for my red. Yes. Oh, well, what else do I have? Okay. Oh, there's enamel dots, yeah. What I could do is get a scrap, and I could do a Mickey head too. Why not? Who says you have to just use one Mickey head? So there, I made my own embellishment. Okay? Might as well do that with a piece of blue scrap too, while I'm at it. So I'm just using my scraps for this Mickey head. Okay. So, now I can put that away. So now I'm looking for blue. And I have this totally happened. I have a blue heart. Love these people out and about. Okay, so I like those. I will pull those. And then I think what we're going to do is we're going to start playing. That's what we'll do. And we'll start with the brown because I know pretty much what's going to happen with that because of my title. Okay, so I have embellishments on a piece of wax paper, so I'm going to move them to the side. I'm going to start with my brown because my title is going to be here. And my title is already going to land right there. And even though I have my photos decided on, I'm still not going to adhere them down until I know where my embellishments are going to go. Because I had planned on doing embellishments the whole way around. That didn't work. So now we're going to back up and regroup and see if we can do them in sections. So we're going to do a cluster of brown, a cluster of blue, and a cluster of red. And so what else? Okay, so then here on my wax paper, here on the right, I'm going to start with my biggest thing and work down. So I have the title Western Town. We could put that right there, like that. Cowboy hat. Well, now that's cute. We could slide this down a tad because I don't want that to be on the photo. And since Goofy has a hat on, why not? And a burlap bow. Where could we put this burlap bow? It's got to make it on there. I'm just playing. And then what's the next biggest thing? Well, I have a horseshoe. Now, on that packaging, the horseshoe was this way. But we were always told that horseshoes are supposed to be like that. They're supposed to be in the U shape. That way your luck gets filled in the horseshoe. If you turn it the other way, they always say then your luck will pour out. Has anybody else ever heard that? I don't know. That burlap bow may not make it. No. And you know I'm going to have to adhere those thickers really well on that cork. Okay. So now what else do we have? We have wood veneer, and then we have a Mickey head. Well, we could... Okay, so we're going to layer that Mickey head. Okay, we got something started. Okay, now I think I'm probably taking too long for all this, but we're just sitting here, slowing down, and what I'm going to do is I have wood veneer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in groups of 3. Well, yes. I'm going to put 3 here to the right and 3 to the left, and I'm going to do them in different sizes, and I'll figure out where they're going to go. But that's just a general idea. And I really like the mood and feel. I have stitched letters. I have theme of Western wear. And then on this cork and this jute that Tish had sent. I really like that. So thank you, Tish. I'm using it already. Okay, so there is a grouping of wood veneer, visual triangle, a grouping of wood veneer there, and I will probably even put some underneath that jute. So notice that I'm going to have some things peeking underneath other things. Now I have this burlap bow, and I don't think it's going to make it. No. But we'll leave it on the wax paper. It's too big in comparison to the rest. And then I have this wood veneer there. It kind of looks out of place, doesn't it? But I could put that wood veneer there. Something different. So there's a visual triangle there. And I could do, oh yeah, maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I would put, that's too small or too big. So where's my wood veneer? Wood veneer. I mean, where is my wood shapes? I'll just put a small one there. Okay. And maybe we'll put a small one here. I don't know. I think I'm getting too much. Oh, well. We'll try that. Okay, so that's a general idea. And so I have a visual triangle within this visual triangle. So now let's go to the red. And I will keep all of these here because when I go to absolutely adhere these, maybe I would need something else as a filler. So now up here for the red, what do we have? I'm going to start with my biggest thing. So my biggest thing is this puffy fancy pants. Wonder if I had a cluster base. Like I have the tag. I don't think I'm going to have a cluster base in red. And I am not going to get off my seat to go get anything because I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy when I sit to scrap. But you know what I could do? I'm going to use another Mickey head. And we're going to tuck this under. So I'm using that Mickey head as a cluster base. And then I don't think I have anything over here that I could use. So I could put the next biggest thing. And I'm telling you, that braid, that epoxy was off-centered. So there I have a visual triangle. And now what else do we have? Well, I have that stitched button. That's got to make it somewhere. That's cute there. That's cute there. And I'm just filling things in. And I can't forget that I have enamel dots. So I have a triangle there. So even though I'm creating a visual triangle here to go in conjunction with this and this, within this grouping right here, I'm thinking of little mini visual triangles. So look at this Mickey head and this spread and this enamel dot. That makes a visual triangle. This spread and this foam sticker and this bling, that makes a visual triangle. And so then I could come over here and add a few more enamel dots to spread this out. Why not? Okay, so I'm just using big and small, different sizes. Okay, I like that. That was pretty quick. Now I did have some other things here, and I don't think any of those are going to make the cut. Oh, I could stick this triangle here. Triangle. How about arrow? I could do that. That brings your eye over there. I mean, it kind of gets lost. And maybe I could stick that there. Okay, so I used everything other than that red. So how many do I have? I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Odd number. Perfect. Move on. Now that was very quick compared to the brown. Okay, so now what do we have for the blue? Well, I tell you, I wanted this rosette, but I really don't think this is going to make it. Why? I'll show you. Yeah, that's a honkin' embellishment. However, I have been known to tear apart embellishments. And why do I like this? I like it because of the pattern of this. And it's just a rosette. So it's just paper with, I'll just show you. It's just got a foam sticker and then foam on back. So what do we have? We have paper. And I want this paper. So, yeah, I'm going to tear it apart. I don't know how this is going to work. But rosettes are a little bit lump and bump for me. So what I could do is, let's find some scissors. Let's see if we could make this work. We're just trying something here. If you don't try, you never know. Okay, here we go. So we just disassembled. Could I get this on here somehow? We're gonna try. So I'm just cutting this up. I notice my hands are really shaky today. Goodness gracious. Some days I just have that. I really like that. Maybe I could just cut a piece of it and play with that. Okay, this is more manageable. So I really disassembled. I really did. Now that's going to create some lump and bump. And it may not work at all, and I may have tore that embellishment apart for nothing. But it don't matter. Okay, so I think I'm going to cut this even more. So now I took that embellishment, that rosette, and I now have this embellishment for something else. And now I have 3 or 4 pieces of paper that I can use on something else. So I'm going to straighten this out. And we're going to tuck this under there. I think. That's what it looked like anyways. Maybe I might have to angle that. So I just angled this a little bit. So yeah, I'm just tucking that blue in there. Why not? Now I could have tucked this to the outside. That could have been good. I could have left that longer. Or what else I could have done is that I could use my Mickey head. Yes, why not? I could use my Mickey head. So now I got that pattern. And I tore that rosette. Now, okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, so what do we have for blue? That was a lot of playing, wasn't it? But yes, don't be afraid to tear up your embellishments to accommodate. So now I have these other scraps. And that will be probably, I could use that more than I would that rosette. So we might as well just continue with Mickey heads, because my Mickey heads alone will make a visual triangle. So we have blue, we have blue. I'm just taking all my blue. And let's see what we have. Okay, so we have this here. And we have this here. And we have a red. So how am I going to arrange these? Well, I like that. But guess what? I don't like it on foam. So what's the chances we could tear this one apart? Well, yes, we can. If we're careful enough. All I did was take that piece of paper off of that foam. Sometimes you can do that, sometimes you can't. So I'm going to use this as my cluster base. And the reason I did that because I want to use it as a base. And if something's on foam, you can't use it as a cluster base because you can't put things on top of that. Okay, we're just disassembling everything. So there's a Mickey head. And we have this, yes, I like that. And I'm just simply taking these elements. I had that Mickey head, but I like that other one better. I think it shows up better. And then we can put that heart there. And then I have this foam, and that's not working. So let's see if we can easily take this off. Okay. That was too easy. And I could tuck this. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I like that. Now, what else do I need? I need finishing touches. And so, now when I adhere this, I may shift this down just a tad because I don't want it the same. I don't want it exactly over there. I want it to be a little different. How do I want to say that? I don't want it exactly straight across from that. So now I have enamel dots, so I could put one here. We'll tuck them in, and I'll just go to smaller. And we'll go off the page a little bit, and then we could bring one down here, and we'll see how that works. Okay, so that's just a representation. Okay, so that wasn't too bad, and we even tore apart some embellishments. How fun is that? So now I want to get the year on. And so I'm going to have to put, I only have this 09. So I could come down here and I'll just go off the page. And I could put 09 down here. How's that? And then I could use one of those little X's for that little 09. Or I could use a little wood veneer as the 09. That's cute because we are talking Western wear. Okay, so that's an idea. And I still have this burlap bow that I am determined to put it on, but it's just, it won't work because everything is too close in scale to this, and this. So it just isn't going to make the cut. And that's what you have sometimes. So the last thing I need to determine is, remember I put these here because I didn't want to forget. So what I do is before I take anything off of here, I'll give you a little tip about word stickers. Once these puppies go on a photo, you're not going to be able to really get them back off because they really stick to photo paper. So I really determine which one is going to go where. And I'll get a piece of wax paper. And what I will do is I will put them in order, photo 1 through 3. So what do I have? Anything that's going to go with my story to Goofy, Frontierland, Disney. What are we? Western wear. We have one Country Boys. Country Boys. I'm a jeans and a t-shirt kind of gal. Proud to be a cowgirl. Cowgirl at heart. Boots, a sass, and a little class. Oh, yes. Come to mama. Absolutely. Okay. So we're going to put this. And I think I like that one for the second one. Boots, sass, and a little class. I like that. Okay, so then what do we have? Straight shooter, your sweet best friends, my heart sings country music. Hello, little cowboy. Now, I have a little cowgirl, but it's all the same. They're little cowboys. So I'll put that for that one. And I like that it says hello because that's exactly what happens when you meet characters. You say hello. And then what do we have for the next one? So there's number 1, there's number 2. And I like putting these on wax paper, and I'll show you why in just a minute. Let's see, straight shooter. Here's the princess that wears boots. That's cute. Adventure. Oh, too bad I didn't have something that said Frontierland. Journey. I think I might just go with one that says the perfect day because this was a really fun trip. So just something generic. So I put them in order on this wax paper, so I already know which one's going to go where. And then what I will do is I will leave them on the wax paper till I figure out where I want these. Because once they hit that photo paper, they really don't come off. And so they're definitely going to go on the top of each photo because that's where I have most of the dead space. And also, this is a little bottom heavy, so it'll look better at the top. So I will put each one of those stickers on the top. Okay. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think for this one here, I'll shift it to the left. This one in the middle, I'll put right in the middle. And this one here for the right, I'll shift it to the right. So that is how those embellishments landed. So it didn't take too long putting that together on the fly. But I really, really love how this tag looks. Especially with the mood and feel of the stitched letters. Looks like Western wear, the jute and the cork, the wood veneer, stars, Frontierland, Goofy, and then the colors. So you can see that my colors make that visual triangle. So I will pause there for a minute. I will probably grab another tissue, and then I will adhere everything. And what will I use? I will use my ATG for my photos, and then of course my fabulous quick dry for everything else. I don't have anything where I'm going to need any super glue, so this will do the trick. Okay, so hold on. I'll come back and I will talk more about the page. Now, there is one more thing I want to tell you. This does not look like Missy's page at all. You know, Missy's so talented in her own class, but it was that inspiration to play with the circles and to play with the color. But there's one more thing you could add to this if you wanted more of a mixed media look, and I'll show that when I come back. And then we're going to talk about volumes 1 and 5 if you want to know what those sketches would look like if you wanted to add them to your library. So hold on, I'll be right back. All right, I am back from adhering everything down, and that is all I simply did using my Scotch Tacky Glue. I adhered everything down basically the way I had planned it on my wax paper. Now, I will tell you down here at the bottom with these thickers, you know, with thickers you have to apply adhesive anyways. But on this font, because I'm putting it on top of cork, I've had to apply adhesive twice, and that may still not be enough. I may have to break out my super glue gel because, excuse me, this tag is absolutely cork. So any liquid adhesive I use is getting seeped into by the cork, and I don't have much left for the letters. So sometimes you have to be aware of that. So I'm going to let it dry another hour or so, and we will see if I have to do a third layer. But if I do, it will be my super glue gel, because the cork does seep up the adhesive. So you can see I have all the brown down here. I have all the red elements up here. No, blue. I have all the blue elements here, all the red elements there, and I just adhered everything down with tacky glue. Easy peasy. And then of course with my photos, I did add those 3 word stickers right there. Very fun. And then I adhere the entire thing to a piece of Simple Stories wood grain, because we are in Frontierland. Yes, more mood and feel. I wanted that to be the very background of my page. And then of course down here at the bottom, 09. I glued that on there as well. And then along with that, in my middle photo, I wanted to make sure it was the showstopper. So I did take 3 rows of foam tape and I ran 3 long strips. And then that just made it stand up above the left and the right. And then because I did that, and because I have so many layers, sometimes your other photos get a little weepy, a little off kilter. So I took a little square of foam tape, so right down here and right over here, and I just cut a small little square, and I just did that, and it helps balance out the photos. I hope that makes sense. So all my leftovers will just get put away. These rosette, this rosette that I tore down, I will just put that in scraps, because I really do like that blue plaid, which absolutely went good with that. Now I don't have any journaling for this page, because this is going to be with other Disney pages of this trip, so I don't need to add anything. But sometimes when you go by mood and feel, and you are specific on the choices you make for elements, sometimes you can get away with not journaling, because anything that I journaled would already be represented in my photos and in my title, and also with little sayings. So of course, what would I say? Disney 2009, it was a good day, we met Goofy, yada yada. So I really don't have to do any journaling, because my journaling is already stated in the elements and the supplies I used. I always like doing that. So now let's talk about volumes. Oh no, one more thing. Using Missy Whidden's layout as a inspiration. You know, she does a lot of mixed media. So what I could have done if I wanted to get more inspiration from her layout and to bring forth more of that, I could have took a stamp or mist and sprays, and I could have done that on these white areas that you see. So I could have took this star cluster, which again is mood and feel. We're talking Disney, Frontierland. Sheriff badges were always with stars. So you could just have, I could have stamped that if I wanted to do that. But because I use so much paper and so many embellishments and so much color, I don't have to do a lot of mixed media, because I already have all that represented in the product I use. I don't have to use a technique for that, if that makes sense. So, okay, so let's talk about volumes 1 and 5 if you're interested in these Creative Scrappers sketchbooks, because they're such a great deal at $4.95 each. And I wanted to say that in cases like this, this would be a good Christmas gift for yourself, is that when I have bought in classes for myself and it's a Christmas gift or something like this, what I do is I go ahead and print it out before Christmas, and I put it in a box and I give it to my husband to wrap, and that way when everybody else is playing with their toys and funds and all that good stuff, I can sit there and look at this class, and so I can enjoy my product as well too, rather than just having a gift certificate saying you can go get this sketchbook or class. So I just wanted to put that out there. There's nothing wrong with buying yourself your own scrappy gift for Christmas morning. And so just the other day, my hubby said, "Did you order your scrappy box?" Because he wouldn't know what to order. And I said, "Yes, I have." I said, "But my shipping and tax was $20. He said, "That's okay." He said, "Because I wouldn't know what to do." So let people off the hook. Order your scrappy gift. Give it to them to wrap and call it a day. Yes. Okay, now let's talk about volumes 1 and 5. And so volume 1 is there's 100 sketches and then also 50 layout samples, and so you're going to get a lot more inspiration with that. Again, no measurements are on that. And then in volume 5, but let's go back to 1. In the back of volume 1, excuse me, I'm sorry, I have so many allergies, is that you get more of templates. I wanted to show that you could do your own sketches. And then in volume 5, there are no layout samples at all, but there are 100 new sketches. And then what I wanted to say with this was, in the back, you get digital cut files. Now I don't know anything about digital cut files, but with this volume you get that. So definitely look below for the website and then read the details on these sketches for these sketchbooks for $4.95. You just can't beat it. So I want to again thank Christine for allowing me to showcase these sketches here in this mini series. What fun. I love having my library of sketches ready to go at a moment's notice. I love my sketches. They are basically, after my pattern paper and my trimmer, they're basically my next most loved and most used tool is my sketches. Yes. So I hope you enjoyed this mini series. There will be some close-ups to follow, and come back on Sunday. We will be getting together with the monthly celebration gang and talking about the month of December and what we're going to celebrate. Yes. So come back to RTS because you never know what we're going to do. Bye.